Steve. Go through like a variety of different avenues where customers get into contact with us. In fact, pretty much our roles in the company as product manager, product design, and evangelist is to really listen to customers and take their requirements from engineering so that we can build the products, the solutions that they want. And so in order to do that, we have a whole host of different avenues we go through to gain customer requirements. What do people want us to do with the products? And I'll start with first and foremost, we travel a lot, and we're at customer sites all the time. In fact, we're barely in our offices, where we sit with customers and listen to the issues they have with their products. We see if we can find workarounds. If there are no workarounds, we write down the ideas of like, okay, this needs to be fixed, or add this or do that. Other things we do with the customer side is we observe how they work. And that's something that John Page does on the design side, so I'll let him speak to that when the time is right. So anyway, we spend a lot of time on site with customers to just watch them work, evaluate the issues they've got, and figure out what we communicate back to them for the next release. A lot of customers call our product support line when they have issues. They think something appears to be broken. Is there a workaround, or is there a solution available? A lot of what the product support team gets directly from customers gets filtered down into the engineering organization in a prioritized list. Product support tells us what the top 10 issues are. We look at addressing those in the next release. We have beta programs where customers who participate in beta give us endless amounts of feedback that, again, go back into our database, which we prioritize to see do other customers care about this, or is it just this one customer, and then we validate whether or not we should get that into the next release. We look at what our competitors' customers are doing, and we talk to them, like, why didn't you buy our products? Were there certain issues in the way? Is it a compatibility thing? What kind of things should we be doing better to win you over as a customer? So we talk to our traditional customers. So those are some of the avenues that we go down to kind of gather, what our customers are after. And again, I almost failed to mention the wish list. We have user group communities all over the world who have their own wish list. Sean Hurley was recently in the Middle East and got a wish list from that user group and so on. And so it's again like taking all this information in and just trying to determine what are our priorities. What affects the most customers? What are the big issues that we're seeing? And that's how we define what we're going to put into the roadmap. So maybe I'll hand over to John to talk about what he does with design and usability.
So when we start off projects, we're given some features that have been called by product management. And when we're doing our research, we're going out to all the discussion groups, mining all those little issues that are in the same vein of something that we're planning on looking at to do for a release of AutoCAD. Along with that, as Eric mentioned, we go out to customer sites in context of that problem we're trying to solve, and we sit with them, like you mentioned, and watch what they do. It's part of a contextual inquiry process, getting to know what the user does and what they don't really elaborate when you ask them. We actually see the environment that they sit in. We also bring people in for usability studies and other events that are similar to usability. So we have remote usability sessions where customers come in, they try things that we're proposing. We take their feedback, and that shapes the future. We also, later in the process, along with alphas and betas, we take the product on the road. So last year we visited 5 different locations around the world: London, San Francisco, San Rafael, Shanghai.
Sao Paulo.
Not this year, but we have done Sao Paulo, and we have done other spots in Europe. And we let the customers play with the product for a whole day. So we get them in a room for a whole day, and they run through a little bit of a set of tasks that we want them to go through, just so they don't just randomly play, so we can target the feedback. And then we, as you've seen, we participate in the news groups or in the live feedback forums, gathering information, making tweaks through the beta release.
So Sean, why don't you talk about your travels and beta programs?
So I've been involved with beta programs for a little over 10 years now. And so my job is kind of to hook the different Autodesk product teams up with the customers, get them talking, and start getting that information back to these other teams. While one person may say, well, my exact bug wasn't addressed, well, there's a lot of them coming in, and they get prioritized Sometimes there's not a solution, sometimes it can't be done right at this time. Because frankly, sometimes we'll break things when we go to fix them. So there's a whole bunch of different priorities and things weighed when we're working in a beta and getting that feedback. Beyond beta, which beta is huge, thousands of customers involved in that, and right now we're over 70 active betas. So, it's a lot of teams, a lot of people, a lot of feedback. But I'm also a technology evangelist, so I spend my time talking with customers, meeting with customers, finding out what their pain points are, what they like, what they don't like, finding out requirements and the way people work in other countries. For example, I was in Turkey, Kuwait, Shanghai, Japan, Brazil, all over the United States, go everywhere and talking to different customer user groups and getting that feedback, trying to get it in a digestible format, and then get it back to these teams to see what they can do with it.